Can we leverage a food as super simple and inexpensive as this to lose weight? Well, you already know we can if I'm here talking about it on YouTube. I'm Amanda Rose. I'm a half my size weight loss case, down 140 pounds from 280. And I'm talking today about apple cider vinegar, a very simple weight loss tool. If you followed me for long, you probably know this is one of my favorite topics because I actually infused many, many gallons of apple cider vinegar as I was losing all of those pounds back in 2017 and 2018. And the way I used it to engage and focus on my goals was maybe not planned. But as I look back, I see how critical it was to my own success, and I want to share some of those factors with you today. There's some very simple, straightforward reasons why we should use more apple cider vinegar. I'm going to share those, but I'm going to talk about the psychology of this as well. First, a little shout out. We are actual legitimate experts in apple cider vinegar here at Eat Like a Bear, and this is an issue of Woman's World from December of 2020 with, Kathy Lee Gifford. Okay, she's not in Eat Like a Bear, but looky there's Melinda Troxel. And inside in the article, we have one Gail Thompson representing the Eat Like a Bear community. This article is actually about apple cider vinegar. See right here, it says, just in time, the new apple cider vinegar hack burning up the internet. And so I bring this headline to you and say, this is actually about us here at Eat Like a Bear. Look at that. We are on a national magazine cover. And so inside in the article, not only do we see Melinda and Gail, Melinda, all right, and Gail is interviewed in the article as well. Gail was 75 years old when this was written, and she had lost 73 pounds. So there she was talking about apple cider vinegar, and Melinda talking about apple cider vinegar, and it became so popular we integrated a little variation into the 3-day challenge. So those of you just jumping in and finding us can learn about this in the 3-day challenge on the website, which is just a very simple 3-day introduction to the main meal model in what we're eating. And I integrated apple cider vinegar into those 3 days for anyone who wants to do that, because it is really a very powerful tool. One reason is something that Woman's World highlights here. So Woman's World says, British researchers discovered that sipping diluted apple cider vinegar before we eat keeps blood sugar 36% lower as we enjoy a high carb meal. Okay, we're not enjoying all the high carb meals here at Eat Like a Bear, but it does help lower your glucose response, which is going to lower your insulin production. And that is going to help you in the long game with fat burning and with your overall health and weight loss, certainly. But there is a more strategic use. I'm quoted in the article as well as an expert, and let me point out my doctorate is not going to be getting a cast or a prescription for me because my doctorate is in political science. Consider me more as your resident expert in strategy, in negotiation, and in fact, those are some of the key tools that I've used to keep this weight off. But in the case of apple cider vinegar, I do use it strategically. So let me talk a little bit about that. So first, as the editors of Woman's World point out, you're going to have diluted apple cider vinegar before a meal. And that is going to help with your insulin resistance, as they point out. But there's something else that I feel like is even more of a strategic play than the insulin resistance. Because in this context, many of us here at Eat Like a Bear are 1 meal a day eaters. So see, you caught me in the middle of my meal, my giant salad, the ridiculously big salad. And the fact of the matter is that a 1 meal a day model is going to just strike right into the heart of that insulin resistance, probably far better, far more directly than apple cider vinegar. That's not to give apple cider vinegar its cred, but it's to give serious cred to the meal model that is driving a lot of the success that you're seeing, or even adaptations of this where people might eat 2 meals, 2 smaller meals in a narrow window, like 4 or 5 hours, and my husband does that. That kind of tightening up of your eating really strikes at that insulin resistance. And so this meal framework probably hits it harder than apple cider vinegar. That's not to say we shouldn't also have the apple cider vinegar for insulin resistance, but let's not overlook the impact of these different choices. But to say apple cider vinegar plays an absolutely critical role, especially when you are implementing the 1 meal a day model. And that is getting you to satiation faster. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit more about hunger and satiation, how ultimately all of this is strategy. It's all strategy. Implementing the ridiculously big salad man is all about strategy, because if you can build a salad that satisfies you, that ratchets down those calories a little bit, but still keeps you real happy, that's where you're going to win, okay? I'm not going to kid you. You're always going to want to put some junk on here that you shouldn't be eating, and you have to figure out how to be happy and satisfied with what you're eating without putting the things that maybe you really super want on there, moving past that, and getting yourself to satisfaction, to satiation. Apple cider vinegar is a very key tool for that. And so let me talk about that in detail. To be super clear, having apple cider vinegar in that salad, like in a dressing, or having a diluted shot of it before you eat, so that it's like mixed in there with that meal that you're eating. Okay, so it's while you're eating, you're getting that apple cider vinegar in, either with a shot or in the recipe itself. That apple cider vinegar will help you come to fullness faster. I'll tell you what, it works so well for me, that there have been meals where I wanted to eat more, and I knew if I put the vinegar in it, I would not be able to eat as much as I wanted, and so I passed up the vinegar. I ignored the vinegar in order to eat more. That's how well it works for me. It makes me feel stuffed a lot more quickly. It really does. It kind of shocks me. And so that's something you can do. So a bottle of apple cider vinegar, it's like $5. Okay, so find one of the better brands. It says like With the Mother. It's like $5. That's your risk. That's your risk, okay? Because maybe it doesn't work as well for you as for me in this sense, but it is so simple and easy to test. If it doesn't work that well, you still have your vinegar for a dressing sometime or whatever, right? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put a couple of ounces into like a little glass, and then you're going to put some water in that as well, and you're going to chug-a-lug it. Or you're going to put that, the ounces into a dressing, and then you're going to eat that food. Okay, what I want you to take note of is how much more quickly you come to satisfaction with that meal than you would have had you not taken that shot. And that's the effect that I'm talking about. Because what we all need to do to be successful with this for the long game is to find a meal structure that's going to work for us, that's going to help us feel satisfied with that eating. And what I do at that point, when I'm all like super stuffed and satisfied, which again, apple cider vinegar is going to be a tool to get me there, that's when I draw the line. Say, I am done with eating. Amanda, you are done with eating. Note to self, I am done with eating. I am all done with eating for the day. I'm very mindful of that, particularly in times when I'm struggling a little bit more. It's like, you know what? No, get to fullness and then tell yourself, this is it. There's no more eating until tomorrow. Okay, that is it. Lots of self-talk is sometimes necessary, but you can train yourself, train your brain to then walk away from that food. Yeah, you're going to feel hungry later or whatever, but you're not going to eat in that time because you're training yourself. You don't eat in that time. See, it's all part of that game. It's all part of that strategy. Apple cider vinegar helps you get to that point sooner so that you don't have to eat as much. And so if you're struggling with overeating the calories in particular, this gets you there sooner. Okay, so I encourage you to try it. You can test it very easily in this way that I've described. Again, it's like a $5 investment to test this thing, and you probably already have it if you've been making the salad dressings. Consider it your strategic partner, okay, your strategic friend. But let me say a little bit more about this. So if that's the very simple approach with apple cider vinegar, and it is, okay, this could have been a 20-second little TikTok video in which I said, have 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar before a meal, dilute it so it doesn't ruin the enamel on your teeth. Oh, I should talk about that too. Dilute it, and so it doesn't like burn your esophagus up as it goes down, because you only take a shot undiluted one time. I'll just tell you that. So the 20-second TikTok could say, have 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar diluted before your meal, and see if that does not bring you to satiation faster. Okay, so that's the little TikTok for you. But let's talk about all the other awesome things about what's in this jar. So one of the beauties of vinegar is it takes on the flavor of stuff that you put in it. And so this has red onion in it. And so first of all, some of that red onion flavor is being imparted into the vinegar. And so now I have a flavored vinegar, which is, by the way, excellent for the salad dressings, and the thing is, I've cut onion in here. There's onion right in there that's getting pickled, and that's going to be really great on salads too. It can be just great, in there with a lettuce like you would just do regular fresh onions, or if you have something like a tuna salad and you like to get some more flavor in that with that tuna, this is really, really great. Now this is super pink and beautiful. I want to show you what it looks like a month or two down the road. Don't be too disgusted because it looks like mud. It looks like that. Okay, this has more than the onion. There's some onion on the top, but there's some garlic in here. I don't know, I see some rosemary. Lord knows what's in here. I keep all kinds of jars of these things around and just like, scavenge from them or whatever. So yeah, it does turn into kind of a brown color, but it's still delicious. So one thing people do ask, how long does it last? You guys, I mean, you could pack these away with like the sarcophagus, okay? This is completely 100% apple cider vinegar that I put in these jars, and it will preserve kind of everything, okay? Forever. So you're not really worried. Now, if, maybe something's floating on the top and it starts to mold, then I would tend to dump that. I mean, this is all really cheap, right? So let's not get too worried about it. The plastic lid, I feel like is kind of a must because the canning jar lids, the metal ones, they will start to corrode with the vinegar. So I like to get plastic lids. But if all you have is metal lids, use metal lids. They'll start to corrode. You'll see. Next time you're like at Walmart or wherever, get the plastic lids, order them on Amazon. So order plastic lids that fit a canning jar and, you'll be fine. And these things of plastic never corrode, so we should maybe be worried about that. But anyway, all our plastic commentaries here. In any case, the real point with all this, and we'll look at the pink one since it's so beautiful right now, is you can flavor your vinegar with anything. I mean, with absolutely anything. And that's what makes this so, so, so exciting. Because I want to add that back in 2017, as I was beginning this whole weight loss process and just wanted so much to hike with my son, and all I could do was go to those trailheads, I went to those trailheads, and you know what I did? I collected things like pine needles, and I put the pine needles in vinegar, and I came back home, and I made salads out of that vinegar. That's what I was doing all those months. Who knew we'd be here like on YouTube even talking about all this? I mean, God, who knew I'd even lose all that weight? I mean, I was just kind of desperate and hoping, but that is part of what I did. I did that, almost daily. I was so engaged with my goal of hiking. I was out there and I was integrating it into my eating in a powerful way. Okay, so now these are just regular red onions that I got from the grocery store, but you can put anything edible, anything that's not going to kill you, into the apple cider vinegar to flavor it. And so I put in pine needles, I put in rosemary from right here in my property. We have a neighbor who has creek property who has bergamot mint growing in her creek. We have wild spearmint that grows up in the forest. We have other conifers besides pine, of course. We have cedar, we have fir, we have juniper. There are lots and lots of options out there in the world of herbs, in the world of forage plants that have great, great flavors that you can infuse into your vinegar. So do not overlook your opportunity for the kitchen crafty projects. And you can take it to a whole new level if you do have a goal like hiking, and you can find some of the wild plants out there and you can go hunt for them. And so that then just adds to the awesomeness of this experience. Now let's just take a quick look in the kitchen about how I integrate this. And let's go on a hike. Hey, so you found me in my kitchen with my apple cider vinegar. This is like the mud version that I showed you outside. And I've made the cooked RBS, which is one of our cooked versions that follows the ridiculously big salad framework. This happens to be egg roll in a bowl. And what I'm curious about, now normally you can just take the apple cider vinegar and just like dilute it a bit and take a shot before you eat. You're done, you got it working for you. But I'm kind of curious what one of these recipes will taste like with some added vinegar. I happen to be a vinegar lover, so adding vinegar to a recipe for me often works, and I haven't ever tried it in the egg roll in a bowl. It definitely changes the flavor, the overall profile of this, but I'm kind of curious to see how it works. And since I do love vinegar, I don't think there's, it's not going to be terrible for me. If you don't like vinegar, I wouldn't do this. I would, in fact, you might find something else to work for you rather than vinegar at all. There's nothing in any of this that's really required to make the weight loss work. It's not like there's some magic. These are all just tools. The apple cider vinegar happens to be a tool to bring you to satiation faster. That's all. I had a giant omelet at home this morning, and then I brought this with me. I did not add the apple cider vinegar until I got here. I just added it, and I've eaten over half of it already. My thought was I could sit at home and eat this, or I could eat this out here. And so I'm eating it out here. So let me show you. This is the vinegar we just made. So this is with the onions, the red onions, and it's all beautifully pink. And this is what I just added to the salad. So you've already seen this. It's a very brown mud look and the beautiful pink look. This pink will turn into this. And so you're going to leave this I would leave it for a couple of weeks at least. That's going to get those onions really super pickled and loaded with the apple cider vinegar flavor, the pickled flavor, and also do the reverse. It's going to draw a lot of the onion flavor and properties, health benefits of the onions even into that vinegar. And so I would leave this for about 2 weeks before using it, and then keep using this sort of thing. And so if you get this like on a little schedule and you just make this whenever you feel like it, first of all, you'll always have a worthy project for your kitchen when you're feeling a little bit crafty, and then you'll have just a whole collection in your pantry like some of us do, so that like the mud version is always ready. Ideally, you label these so that you know what the flavor is, and many times I don't label them. Sometimes you can figure it out. Like I knew this had big old chunks of garlic in it, and I just ate some in the coleslaw. It had onion in it, and God knows what else was in it. Maybe I should have labeled it. It hardly matters. I think it had cilantro in it too. Anyway, based on its flavor. And so the key is this will fill me up even more because of the apple cider vinegar. I will be more satisfied and finished with my eating for the day as a result of the apple cider vinegar that I put in the salad. One reason I did not add this at home and put it in the car with me and all that, with the apple cider vinegar will begin to degrade the lettuce and the cabbage, especially lettuces. It would be like totally a wilted mess if it had the apple cider vinegar in it, an hour or two ago even. The cabbage stays better longer, but it's still better to add the apple cider vinegar right when you're going to eat it. Who even needs to retreat to the kitchen when you can talk about apple cider vinegar on the road and stuff it in your car? It is such a great travel companion. Pack up this apple cider vinegar and take it on the road. Find my road trip report and go be awesome.